Here we go, back again with another video. Yes, in today's video we are going to talk about the smallest can of cider in the world. No, we're not really. We're going to talk about the whole Ross Stewart situation. The whole Ross Stewart situation. It's the eve of the Tees-Weir Derby, Middlesbrough versus Sunderland down at the Riverside Stadium. And all talk moves on to Ross Stewart's contract. Now there's an article in the Sunderland Echo, we'll have a little read of it and we'll talk about it, by James Copley. Yes, James Copley, that great reporter from the Sunderland Echo, a good friend, and a friend of mine as well. Not a good friend, I don't know him that well, but I do know him, he's a good lad. Played five-side football with him a few times. And he's very competitive indeed. So there you go, James, good article on the Sunderland Echo today, or yesterday, whenever it was. Have a swig of this. Very nice indeed. Well, this is what it's annoying the life out of me at this moment in time, and I'll explain later on why. Sunderland AFC transfer gossip. Blackburn Rovers to target Ross Stewart in January if Ben Brereton Diaz is sold. Blackburn Rovers will target Sunderland striker Jack Ross in January, according to reports. That's according to the transfer insider Alan Nixon, who states that Rovers will make a move for the Scottish striker if Chilean international Brereton Diaz is sold to a Premier League club in January. Because they did try, I think, was it Everton who did try to come in for Brereton Diaz? I'm not quite sure. Sporting director Christian Speakman recently said he remains confident that contract talks with Ross Stewart will reach a sensible conclusion. Now, we say a sensible conclusion. Does that mean he wants to get him tied down on a cheap-ish contract? Not, tying down our best, I'll say this, our best asset to a decent contract, pay him some decent money. He's scoring the goals for Sunderland, 5 goals so far in this campaign, and he was easily our top goal scorer last season. I was one of the people as well. I thought, can he make that step up to the Championship? And so far, so bloody good. He's made that step up from the League One to the Championship, and he looks in his comfort zone. He does look bloody good. So we need to pay this lad the money to keep him at the club, keep him on a 3 or 4 year contract. I mean, what a contract's worth anyway. End of the day, if a club comes in from next year, a big Premier League side, paying the millions, we'd sell him anyway. So the whole purpose of having a contract is to make more money for the club in the future, to make sure we tie him down so he's happy as well with the money. We don't want him to go in January to Blackburn. Why on earth should we be selling our best players to another Championship side? That is beyond me. Right, Stewart is technically out of contract at the end of the season, but Sunderland are protected by a clause that allows them to extend it automatically for the further season. Ideally, Sunderland hope to reward his progress. They better fucking reward his progress. Pardon me, fucking French. An outstanding form. He's been in brilliant form, has been in fantastic form. Ross is someone that we've been having conversations with regarding his contractual structure since spring. I mean, how long does it take? How long is a piece of string? How long does it take to tie someone? How are you going to wait from spring to now to tie this lad down? I can kind of understand maybe he's in between season, but as soon as we're in the Championship and he's scoring goals, he should be knocking down the door, Ross Stewart, saying, get me a contract, get me the money I want, this is what I want, and Speakman should be paying it. I don't think he'd be a greedy man. I don't think he's Scottish. I'm only joking. Anyway, they're ongoing. Laugh at your own jokes. They're ongoing positive conversations. We have the option of an extra year. Ross's contract, so he's still got 22 months left. But let's not leave this too long. Let's make sure we don't have people coming in January. We could have Premier League. That's fair. Let's pretend, and the way things are going, he could have 20 goals into the season, possibly by Christmas. What is it now? We got all of September. all of October, all of November, a bit of a break for the World Cup. He'll be in double figures by Christmas. The guy will be in double figures. Like, I mean, Premier League side, someone like Everton or someone, you know, who hasn't got an out striker might come knocking on the door and try to get this lad, you know, and give him the money what he deserves. So we need to tie this lad down, make him happy right now. Make him happy right now. I'm sure he'll be happy to stay at Sunderland. I appreciate that when you have a player with a profile of Stewart and the success he's had, he's a top guy who has come here, adapted and delivered. We want to get him tied down to a longer contract, as you do with any player that has done well. We want to get this solution sorted out as soon as possible. I'm sure that there's a sensible conclusion. Now, this sensible fucking conclusion, malarkey, with what he's on about here. I'm not happy with the way he's coming out with the figure of speech. We need to, you know, end of the day, I don't know who's our top earner. It was Pritchard or someone. We need to make Ross Stewart our top earner at the club. Reward players for doing well. We do. We need to tie this lad down. We shouldn't be selling Ross Stewart to any other championship side. We are Sunderland. End of the day. We got the highest gates, and I'm pretty sure we have got the highest gate in the championship. One of the highest, if not the highest. I haven't looked at the figures, but I'm sure there's nobody else can pull in a crowd the size of Sunderland. Almost 40,000 fans. I mean, I may be wrong. There's some really good teams in the championship. Don't get me wrong. There's some bloody good teams in the championship. Some bloody good fan bases. And I'm not disrespecting any of them, but we pull in the highest gates. So I mean, and we can't be paying the highest wages. So either our owner has diddly squat when it comes to money and can't afford it. But we brought these youngsters in, and Tony Mowbray says these youngsters won't be put straight into the side. He likes of your bar, he likes of your the lad from PSG, and you know the Manchester United lad, and the lad from Le Havre. You know, the names elude me because I'm getting old. But yeah, these, I mean, they'll be on a decent. I would imagine they'll be on competitive wages, but we want to spend over the top, and these players won't be ready to come into the first team either, mind, for a while, unless we are desperate with injuries and they're forced to play these players. So for me, you've got to be breaking down. You've got to be putting Ross Stewart in a decent wage bracket. You've got to tie him down to a decent pay structure, decent wage bracket. We're pulling in millions. We've got to be pulling in millions with the crowd we have now. So why can't we? Why shouldn't we be the biggest attraction in the championship? Why can't we be the biggest attraction? I know the likes of Norwich do have the parachute payments in Watford, and the other team that went down as well, Burnley. But barring those three, it comes down to the ownership, I suppose, and how much money they've actually got. And KLD and Sartori, you did question. I did say the jury's open with Wan Sartori. I said the jury's open with Wan Sartori. For me, he's done nothing since he's come to the club. But he may be a big influence in bringing KLD to the club. And KLD may have his mother, which he should get money off to try and bring players in to get us. It's not rocket science. Get us to the Premier League and you make a lot more money. But for me, Sartori, he's got to have money. He's got to have family with money. He's got to put money where his mouth is. Getting money into the... I said the jury's open with Sartori. He's got to start now. Even though we saw him at the game. That's the first time I've seen him at the game for a long time. And he's there taking photographs and signing and everything. Fair enough. Happy days. But you need to start doing something at the club. I want to know what you do at this club, Sartori. I asked you the score prediction the other day. I didn't have enough time to ask you what you do at the club. But I possibly would have. But I mean, I'm not someone there to cause trouble or whatever. But I'll ask a few questions like that. And I'd like to know what you do with this club. You need to have some sort of financial backing to bring it to the club. Because we should be tying likes of Ross Stewart. No, the Championship club should be able to pry Ross Stewart away from Sunderland. That's just my opinion. Nobody should be able to pry Ross Stewart away from our club. Nobody. I'll be fucking livid. I'll be disappointed if Ross Stewart sold to some team like Blackburn. I would absolutely be gutted and think to myself, What is the ambition of the owners if that happened? Hopefully it will not happen. Hopefully it's just paper talk, and you can want as much as you want Blackburn, but you're not going to get Ross Stewart. You're not. No. KLD, just don't sell him. And now, of course, the game tomorrow against Middlesbrough. We've had a fantastic start to the season. Sunderland, Middlesbrough had an awful start to the season, but they have players back tomorrow. They've got a full-strength squad tomorrow, Middlesbrough, and it will be a very difficult game. And our team news, it will be exactly the same as it was against Rotherham. We will not be changing anybody. 99.9% sure. I've been told 99.9% sure it's going to be exactly the same team, but we don't have anybody else to really bring in to change it, do we? To be fair, because we've got a lot of youngsters who need time to adapt with, obviously, the language barrier and also catching up to speed. And, you know, that, like Tony Mowbray says, there's no 6'4" tall, big brick shit houses we've brought in. We brought young, small kids to the club. They need time to grow, to nurture, and to adapt to the style of football the Championship provides. But there we go. I'm doing a live stream tomorrow night. And like I said, I'd be absolutely devastated if we sold him to Blackburn. And this is what the Chronicle has to say. Sunderland striker Ross Stewart, a January transfer target for Blackburn if Brereton Diaz is sold. There we go. We should not be selling anybody to any Championship side unless obviously the player doesn't like the area and they want to go. Then we have to let them go. But there we go. Hope you've enjoyed the quick video. What's your thoughts on Ross Stewart? How long should we tie him down to? And this needs to be sorted out in the next few weeks. It's got to be sorted out. This one and also Pritchard. These two have got to be sorted out. And also, well done, Alex Neil, today. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how the worm turns, isn't it? It's funny how the worm turns. Reading 2, Stoke 1. Well, I've got nothing against the Stoke fans, but I had a little chuckle when I saw the result today. There we go. At the end of the day, I know how football fans do feel when the team gets beaten. I feel sorry for the fans, but not for Alex Neil. There we go. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. And you've been smashing it. Absolutely smashing it with the subscribers. Keep subscribing to this channel. You're absolute legends. And don't forget, if you want a chance to win that shirt there, the PSG shirt, please go back a video to the preview video, because if you leave in this one, you'll be disqualified. And also, don't forget, you get 1 point and towards them two shirts on the score prediction table. So there you go. Thank you. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the live stream tomorrow night. Live stream. I'll be doing it from the studio, where hopefully we can move into, was it joint second place? Could we move into joint second place tomorrow night? 2 points behind the leaders, Norwich. Although Sheffield United are playing today. Thank you. See you later.